Joining us this morning is Mobile County Sheriff Sam Cochran. Sheriff Cochran stops by every now and then to talk about pressing matters on the community. And this morning, Sheriff, a hot button issue right now, and that is of constables. So just to clear up any kind of confusion, if there is any, what is the Sheriff's Office in relation to a constable?
Well, we're really not affiliated. They are a separate elected person from within a precinct in the county, and as I am elected sheriff for the whole county, but there's two separate agencies or offices.
And I know we've asked this question before, but who do they answer to, because they don't answer to you? No,
they answer only to the voters within that individual precinct voter's location.
And as far as training is concerned, I know there were some questions about that as well. You guys and your guys that work for you, the deputies, go through extensive training. Now, are constables trained?
They're not required to have any training, and that's one of the issues that has confronted this situation for the last several years. They're not mandated by law to have any minimum standards training, as do deputy sheriffs and police officers, and then we have to have annual retraining for law enforcement police officers and deputies. The constables do not require or not required to have training. They're just elected.
Well, and speaking of, that brings me to my next question. How are they elected?
Well, they're elected within those individual precincts. Oftentimes, some of them are elected by write-ins. Some can list themselves as a member of one of the respective parties. But it has changed over the years, and many have been elected just by a handful of write-in voters.
Sheriff, if there's someone in the community who is faced with a situation with a constable and they don't feel comfortable, what would you recommend that they do?
Well, I mean, if they feel that they've committed some type of an offense or something like that, they could contact our department. We would investigate any allegation of misconduct, such as criminal misconduct. But we have no authority over them if they've done something that's less than criminal. And therein lies why there's an effort by some to maybe amend the laws. Of course, there's been several efforts over the years to do that, to have a governing board and require them to have training. And some of them are very good, qualified people. Leo Bullock is a very well-known figure in Mobile for years, a constable. He's advocated requirements of training for years, as has I. But there are others in the agency that have no training. In fact, some, as Renee Dowell's story recently pointed out, many of them are convicted. Some are convicted felons, and many have very bad arrest records.
What would you like to see change, Sheriff?
Well, I think there needs to be a requirement for minimum standards of training, such as having been certified as A-Post certified at some point in their career. And then I'd like to see an oversight board consisting of maybe a member of their agency or organization and myself or someone, and someone appointed by the legislature.
You mentioned a proposal up for legislation. What's the next step in that?
Well, I know that a couple of individuals have indicated that they had some prepared legislation for the legislature to maybe govern them, and of course I'll be actively involved in that at the time that comes.
As far as the Sheriff's Office is concerned, there are many ways for people to get in touch with you guys. You guys have many social media accounts, as well as, of course, the good old telephone. If people are looking into getting in touch with you guys, or just want to see what you guys have going on, such as your talks about constables, what can they do?
Well, we have a very inactive website, mobileso.com, and we also, have other social media, Facebook page, the Sheriff's Office, Team Sheriff, or they could call my office. But we also have lots of volunteer opportunities for members of our community.
And Sheriff Cochran, as he mentioned, did a special with our own Renee Dowell, Fox 10 News reporter Renee Dowell, about constables that went into a lot more detail that you can check out on our website, fox10tv.com. We're going to put this interview up on fox10tv.com. And Sheriff, as always, thank you for keeping us informed.
Thank you very much.